A Guten Erev Shabbos and a Guten Erev Yom Tov. It should be a Shabbat Shalom and a Chag Sameach to all. Tonight we celebrate Sukkot. We walk into that structure and we feel we reconnect to our ancestors as they left Egypt throughout those years in the wilderness. They were protected from the elements. A wonderful experience indeed. Now, the first night of Sukkot, there is a level of challenge. When it rains, we hope it does not rain. But nevertheless, there's a challenge. Now, why is there a challenge? The general rule is, mitzta'er patur mina sukkah. If someone is uncomfortable, right, that his presence in the sukkah is one that does not give him comfort. For example, it's raining in the sukkah. Just as a person would not remain in his living room if there is a leak, right? If God forbid a pipe bursts and it's leaking into the living room, a person would move into the kitchen to complete his meal. So too in the sukkah. So according to our tradition, we do not eat in the sukkah throughout sukkahs if you are mitzta'er, if it brings pain, agony, discomfort, and rain is the perfect example for such a tsa'ar. Now, the first night, according to some authorities, is different. According to these great authorities, the first night of Sukkot is compared to the first night of Pesach. Just as the first night of Pesach, we have a mitzvah of eating a kezait, right, in the volume of an olive, of the bread of Pesach, we call that matzah. So too, on the first night of Sukkot, we have to eat a kezait of bread, actual bread, in the structure of a sukkah. And these authorities believe that this comparison is so strong that even in a situation where actually you are mitzta'er, even if it is raining, you are obligated to eat in the sukkah the first night. Now that creates a challenge. Number one, to eat in a sukkah when it's raining is uncomfortable. But the problem is that this is not clear. Other authorities disagree. And they say absolutely not. You cannot be obligated to eat in a sukkah when it's raining because it's not a sukkah. Due to this disagreement, there was even an authority that suggested that when it's raining the first night, you should wait. Wait an hour, wait 2 hours, or perhaps even until midnight until it stops raining to avoid this question. Now this could be quite uncomfortable after a busy day, Erev Sukkot, and many are very careful not to eat the last quarter of the day, that you should have an appetite for the night. Imagine you tell a family with children, with guests, to wait an hour or two. This is not an easy task. And therefore, the recommended practice is, if it is raining, is to try to wait a little bit. Every person could assess if they could wait 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or a half an hour. And if it appears that the rain continues, you actually make your way into the sukkah, right? You make kiddush in the sukkah. And yes, you make a shehechianu for the day, and for the structure itself, you make a bracha shehechianu. Even according to those who say you are patur, you are not obligated. Well, if you can make a shehechianu on the structure before Sukkot, you could also make it on Sukkot when the structure is not really functioning as a sukkah. After kiddush, you eat a little bit of bread, the volume of an olive, and then you could go inside to complete the meal. If at some point it stops raining, it would be recommended to go back into the sukkah and eat some more bread to satisfy all opinions. The best thing we could do is hope that there's no rain tonight and be able to experience our sukkah the way we should, to enjoy it, to appreciate it. This year is a bit cooler here. I don't think we're going to have a challenge with bees. Most probably a good idea is to wear a coat, not to be mitzta'er, not to be uncomfortable from the elements. But the main thing is to be mindful of the gift of the Chag. It's a time of simcha, of happiness, and it should be for everyone. Yes, there are challenges, but it's a moment to go ahead and think about the fact that we have a relationship with the higher being. We are appreciative for the physical and spiritual gifts. It should be a wonderful Chag for all. Chag Sameach, Shabbat Shalom. Bye-bye.